Yes, I'm good.
I don't think I can see you, but I can hear you. But
I
I
can
did
see.
see you on Skype a minute ago.
Maybe you mute the video.
Oh, I see you now.
You can see me now.
Hey, there you go. Hi. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
We normally say jambo in Africa.
Oh, you say jumbo?
Yes,
Jumbo.
jambo sana.
Jumbo. Mashallah. Masala. Mashallah. Do you say mashallah too?
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yes.
Inshallah.
So, excellent. Be prepared to take notes, and we're going to go over the principles for booking today, some basic principles for how to book gigs, some little backstage tips and secrets and hints, and then some of the tools that we use that the professionals have access to, and also some highlights that bands can implement for having more success with booking gigs. So I'll share with you some of the resources that we use, and these are also resources that we use when we book gigs for artists that are working with us, which some of you are in that situation, and these are some things that you can also do on your own, and then some of the things are things that we do that's more sort of they're not trade secrets, but they're more tools of the trade. So what I'm going to do is share my screen. And then I do want it to be interactive in the sense that I want, if you have questions or feedback, take a note and then ask me at the end, because I like to go through with all the presentation and I might answer your questions en route. And then I think for the efficiency, it's better if you save them in case I didn't go over it and you have comments to share, questions to ask, or concerns regarding your specific situation, you can ask after the about 20 minutes of presentation time. Is that good?
Yeah, that's okay.
So the two different ways actually, okay, for booking gigs would basically be for going to do local performances in your own area or in a certain geographical area near where you're based. And then the second type would be going to book a tour. So for example, in a different part of your own country or overseas, in different territory. So what I'm going to do is for both of those, you're going to want to use a planning tool, which for that we generally use the Google Calendar and then a database. So Google Calendar, I want to show you an example of a gig booking calendar. And this one right here, it's an example for the tour that I worked on last year in France. And this is just the France calendar. Each band also gets a gig booking calendar. And the way it would work for a band is to put in the dates when you're not available to perform. So if there's any blackout dates, to mark those in first. And then we basically know that everything that's open is a date that we could book. I mentioned Phases of the Moon last week. You can see down here on the left, it says Phases of the Moon. So this calendar, we can also display, if I were to put that in here and activate it, it's going to give you the dates when there's full moons and when there's full moons and new moons. And this one has the full moon on the 27th of September, which it wasn't one of the days that we were Sorry. It was on September 12th. That was a full moon, I remember. The new moon is the 27th. So the 12th was a Saturday. So whenever you're looking at your own calendar for booking gigs, and like I'm trying to put together a schedule for Banjo, I would definitely book a show on Saturday the 12th and on Friday the 11th, because I know more people are going to come out on those nights, and there's going to be more, the energy will be higher, and it will be a better gig all around. So I would definitely, just in the whole calendar for the year when you're looking at your gig schedule, book around the full moon dates, okay, and put shows on those days, especially when they're on weekends. And then also, just since we're talking about astrological influences on performances, you want to check Mercury retrograde. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Yes.
There's a lot of echo when you're talking.
Let's see. What I'm going to do is close out of the Skype. I think we're still connected on there, Ricky. That should help. I just hung up.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Okay. So yeah, look up Mercury retrograde. Here's the calendar for 2016. It's going to be retrograde. It just came out. The next one is August 30th to September 22nd. Okay. Do not plan any kind of tour at that during Mercury retrograde. It's going to make it so much worse. Like, I can attest, because we were in France in Mercury retrograde last year, and it was my bad for having to deal with all that. Make sure you're not booking a tour during Mercury retrograde. That's just the bottom line. And if you do book gigs during that time, be extra careful with the communication regarding the gigs. Make sure everybody's going to get there like super early, all of your band members, and double check everything about having to do with the gig and with the technical and with people coming and getting directions right and all of that, because there's more likely chance that things will go wrong during those times. Hey, Lee.
Hi, everyone.
Bonsoir.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I unplugged this headset because I don't have a thingy on this headset.
Okay.
Microphone, but I'm digging up my my earbuds. I think.
You're loud and clear.
Okay, so I'm moving ahead here. That gives you an idea about dates when you're booking. Okay, full moon and Mercury retrograde. And then the next thing you want to look at is holidays of U.S. holidays or whatever country you're going to be in, and check to see. Most of the holidays I'm sure you're already familiar with, but those are always great days to get gigs. If you can book a Halloween gig, do it, or any kind of a St. Patrick's, Cinco de Mayo, whatever days are coming up in the next 6 to 9 months. It's not too early to outreach to venues to book those dates. So you want to really target the high traffic days at the clubs. And the way I suggest what we've had the most luck, especially with bands that are beginning and starting out, is get a lineup with another band or two that you can perform with that's a good fit with each other, and propose to the venue the ensemble that you're going to bring, an opening act and a middle, and you're going to headline, or whatever order. Or you can, I work with a reggae band. It's a 10-piece dub all-stars reggae band. I've worked with them since 2007, and we'll put together a full night of music where we bring the DJ, a reggae DJ, to play in between the sets and present it and sell it as a package to the venue, that you're going to bring your own sound person, sound engineer, your DJ, and cover the whole night with 2 or 3 sets of music. So once you can really get a few venues that let you come in and take over the whole night, it's going to be great. It's more enticing because they'll know that that you've got everything covered for the night. And I would go for those days I just mentioned on the holidays first. And then you want to also know your draw that you can, the number of people that you can bring to perform at the venue. I mean, to watch the show at the venue. And I would say to be positive about it and also don't overinflate. I think it's important to bring as many people as you say you're going to bring, and whether it's a rainy day or there was a lot of traffic or it was a holiday and there was no parking. I think just whatever you do, don't make excuses about it after the gig if that many people don't show up, because it just doesn't look good, and then we all know the facts to begin with. So be as conscientious as you can about getting as many people as you say you're going to get, and pick a few shows and really push and get your friends to come and make it a success the first time you go to a venue, because then the venue is definitely going to invite you back. So this is getting to the next step, which is putting together a professional email presentation about your band and your music and how you're going to put the night together and how many people you'll bring, and then to send this out to the venue. So I want to show you the emails that we send out. And this is one of the tools that we utilize. It's salesforce.com, and it's a great tool for database and customer management. So this is what it's looking like when you get inside Salesforce. And what we do in Salesforce is make the email templates for the band. So this is what they look like. I'm going to show you one for, I'll pull up this band, Best Intentions. So this gives you an idea of the info that you want to send to the venue. Is the subject line with the name of the band and then the type of music.
It's not showing on the screen.
Can you see it?
No.
I see your calendar.
Yeah, even
Still.
Let me. It might just be a little slow.
Okay.
Can you see it now?
No.
Not yet.
Because I switched from Chrome to Opera. Do you see it now?
Yeah,
Oh, it's attempting to switch.
Okay. So you want the subject and include the date, if there's a date that you're looking for in the subject line. This one is a general email that was not a specific date, but I can show you some other examples where we're booking for certain dates. And then it's got a bio, a little bit about the band, some photos and links to their music, their website, the social media links. Are you able to see that?
Nope.
The screen is stuck trying to close the calendar. It looks pretty cool though, but
Maybe let me.
you know.
Well, the point about it is to include the links, your photos, a couple catchy photos, some phrases, and something that's going to make the venue interested in the band. Definitely the music, the dates that you're going to be looking for. So what we talked about with those weekends or the holidays, the number of people that you can draw, and also the other groups that you want to play with, or if you're bringing a DJ, the lineup for the night. So really give them, paint the picture that you're going to bring this successful evening of live entertainment to their venue and put it together in a professional manner like this. I'll send you some samples after the call because I think it's just taking a long time to load with all these screens open.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder What's up with that?
I'll close down some other windows here, but the email template, I'll give you some examples of that. And then, okay, so for sending it, who you're going to send it to, the database in salesforce.com is how we organize venues and where we keep all of the contacts so that the contact with their email address, the venues are all by city, by genre, and they're searchable so that when I want to do a mailing for venues in, say, north of San Francisco, like in Marin County, where Lee is based, I can pull up my list of venues that are with the area code 707, which is in Marin area, and North San Francisco, and then it will pull up those venues and we can send out an email to all the booking contacts at those venues. If I want to send an email to some of the Afro jazz venues or jazz festivals worldwide, I've got a way to pull up festivals that are jazz, and then I'd be able to send the email for Ricky's music to all of the jazz venues, just for example. So whatever system you're using, if you even use Excel, you know, the best thing would be to have somebody like me doing it for you. You have access to salesforce.com where there's this type of information. If you don't, you can use your own Excel and organize the venues by the type of venue and the location. And another resource that you can use is the one called Indie on the Move, and that one is right here, where you can pull up a list of venues. So I don't think it's going to work for you, Ricky, in your country, but it does work. It's more US based. I don't even think they have Canada, but it looks like this. It's got the little bus up in the corner, Indie on the Move. You can search by your state that you want to tour in, and then the radius of the zip code, and pull up venues. And then you can also, for a small subscription fee, subscribe to monthly on this platform, and then you'll be able to email to those venues that pull up in your search. And so that's a great resource. I've used it when I'm filling in dates for bands that are doing tours in different parts of the country where I don't have all the contacts or all the venues, and I can pull up and find new places to contact to fill in dates for bands. They also have this section here, which is for availabilities, show availabilities. So these are venues that are, like here's one, Seeking Bands for San Francisco show this Saturday, June 18th. And then it has the lead information. Then there's also band availabilities. You can post your band availabilities on here as well once you're a subscriber, and post your when and where you're available to play. So it's worth putting some attention into. You know, I think especially if you're traveling out of your normal area and you're not familiar with venues, or you need to fill in some dates on a tour, that's basically when I use that, is filling in dates. The other place that's a great resource for filling in dates and finding venues is the Google Maps. So when I was planning the tour to Paris, I did use Google Maps, as frustrating as it may be, which it is. I used it for a routing. Like, this might be helpful, Lee, when you guys go to Europe, to sort of gauge the distance between places, to find out if it's feasible, if you can actually get there in the time frame that you have to get from one place to another.
Uh-huh.
And then once you find out as far as distance, the way I used it was I did a search on Google, because I basically had to find jazz venues in between like Paris and Brussels. Or we were this time looking to do something around Stuttgart or in Germany. So I would go to the Google Maps and then type in around that area live music. This is a sample for San Francisco in the downtown area. If I was looking for something I didn't know, type in live music bar just to show you what comes up. The venues come up. There is one that I hadn't heard of that came up, and you can then look at the venue if it looks like a good fit, get the contact and add it to your database, and then do your outreach to them. So I think Google Maps is really helpful for planning a tour in a different country or a different part of the town where you need a different part of your a different geographical region where you don't know the venues and you need to find them. I'm using it for some things we're booking right now in Dubai and looking up venues and getting the contacts. And so once you get the contacts then and you know where you want to play, you have the dates in mind, you've got the lineup figured out, you know how many people you can draw, and you also have a professional presentation of your music that describes it and gives them links and samples and a visual. You want to make sure there's a visual with like a band video playing live, okay? So they really know what they're getting. Then that's the contact. So I recommend doing your outreach by phone and by email, and to definitely follow up. I'm not saying to be like pesky unless it's really urgent and you have to be, but in the general sense of things, it's important to follow up. And I can't tell you how many people contact us at Paramount Booking International for booking, and I only hear from them like once, like seriously once, okay? And we get thousands of contacts and bands contacting us, and I'm sure the venues get way more than we even get. And if the band only contacts them once, you know what, you're never going to hear back. If you contact them a whole bunch of times, you're going to hear back. And so I think a combination between email, phone call, leave a voicemail. Now you can get them on Facebook. You can go to their, chat them up on Facebook, get someone at the venue involved in your dialogue, and maybe LinkedIn, any of these social media platforms. It's a really good way to connect, and like probably not just bombard over and over continually, but spread it out a little bit, depending on your time frame. When I was booking the tour in France and I had to get these dates, and it was really down to wire, I did have to do like more pestilent type of contact, and this guy's like, you're Facebook messaging me, you call me, your email. I'm like, I know, and then he called back, right? So he did call just because I was bugging him so much, and we got the gig there, actually. We played at his venue. So, target wisely, and the ones that you really think it's a good fit, make your case, like we're going to be in that area, or this is a, Halloween event, and we know a bunch of people that we can get to come to your venue because it's a bar we used to hang out with right next door. Something where you really feel like it's a good fit. If you're going to bug somebody, you've got to be bugging them because it's going to be a success. So choose your targets wisely, make a good case, and follow up. And this is a little bit about after the gig, what we talk about in another call, but it's really important to keep in touch with them once you book the gig, to make sure you promote to your social groups and get tickets sold and update the venue, and keep in touch with them. And then after the gig, also follow up, because you're building a relationship with that venue. You want to pick ones that you're going to want to play back at, because once you get there and it goes good, then you want to count on booking that every 3 months or so. I know Ricky's had some success with that, setting up these like residency really good nights with a venue where you can go back. So really make it choose the gigs wisely. And I got somebody coming in here saying something. Who is that? Heading out.
It's in the background.
I don't know. Is it
Okay.
me? I don't think it's me.
It's Brian. He's at a event, but I mean that sort of rounds up the booking tips. There's one other site I want to show you. This one here called Celebrity Access. Like this is more of a trade site for agents and for managers. However, if you're willing to fork out the money, you can subscribe to this place too, and they do offer like every venue contact for festivals, corporate casinos, clubs, every level. I mean, it's more of a national act touring type. It has smaller venues and local places too. It's a little more advanced than you might be at for right now, a lot of you guys, but it does have a lot of I mean, it's got the mega venues in here too, but it does have smaller venues, and it's only United States though. So it's called Celebrity Access, and it's similar to Polestar. They also post all of the top box office scores, and the venues report all of their ticket sales in here, and it's something to grow into or to use. I would say probably more when you're working with an agency or management, but it is available to subscribe. So I think.
I guess you subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So those are the main things I wanted to go over. I another part of it we'll talk about later is with the emailing platform that you use. Salesforce.com is something that you could use as a band for your email with your fan base and your venues. It does both. However, we'll go more into detail about gathering names and emailing. I don't recommend Salesforce for that. You have to integrate it with another, like MailChimp or Namaste Lite or Constant Contact or one of those. So I'm going to open it up to you guys. If you have some feedback, comments, or questions, or want to see something again, feedback on what you've done that has worked for you, or anything that on these that you've used or different ones you have questions about.
I think my question would be, I didn't get what you said about the database events.com or something like that.
About which one?
Was it a database events.com or?
Was it Celebrity Access?
No. Like when you're setting up an email.
Oh, Salesforce.com.
It's called?
It's called Salesforce.
Salesforce.
.com.
Okay, you said it before. You said something to do with Indie on the Move.
Yes, Indie on the Move has the.
Before that, there's something that you talked about.
Before that?
Yes, immediately before that.
I think it was just Salesforce.
Salesforce.
That's where we have the email list and then the database of venues.
Okay.
If you can see it now, it's up on my screen. And these are Mexico venues.
That's Indie on the Move that is on the screen.
Okay, I think it's going to have to take a minute to change over. It should come up. Do you do some of these things, Ricky? Because I know you've been successful with getting your band a residency and booking yourself at festivals over in your area.
In this part of the world, things work very differently. And like from what I'm hearing, it sounds like Greek to me. I've never heard what you guys are talking about. So it's a very new thing. Like the way we book gigs here, you just send an email and ask them whether you can play at their event. There's nothing much about it.
I know, right? It should just be so simple.
But I believe we're going to work together with your booking agency and your company. So most of the things you're going to do for us as we keep on learning. Because from what I'm seeing you guys doing, it's totally different from what we do from here.
Yeah.
Like the gig that you do, our regular gig, we do it in a cultural center, whereby anyone can go there and book a gig. You don't need to send an email. You just walk in and tell them, I want to do this. The following day, you're doing a gig. And they don't even care how many guys you're going to bring there. Like what I've seen with the follow-up and all that, we don't do that in Kenya at all. So it's something that I've been trying to do, but it's successful.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And then maybe to comment on that, there's a lot of planning with the way you guys book gigs in the States, which is different from here. In Kenya, we don't plan about anything. Most of the things just happen as guys keep on going. So I think that's why we don't have a lot of resources.
No. Momentarily, though.
Thanks for that feedback.
3 minutes.
We just have a couple minutes left. What do you have some feedback or insights, Lee? Anything that you wanted to share or ask or on your experience?
No, I just wrote down the list of things here. You know, I don't know, the Indie on the Move website seems like a good thing. I don't know why I haven't come across that one yet. Even the celebrity access thing. And I guess I'm going to start a Facebook for the band this evening. Gotta happen, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's gotta happen, I suppose. I think that's things I'm coming to terms with. Other than that, no, I've been swimming.
Nice.
I've been swimming, going to the beach, painting my sister's bathroom. Totally unrelated. But it was interesting that Google Maps actually lists venues. I never noticed that. I don't know why I never use that, because that'll be really useful for planning a more local tour, or a West Coast thing.
Definitely.
Yeah, which is what I want to do when I get back, or what I want to do now for when I get back.
Cool. All right. Good. Are you on, Brian? Do you have anything you want to add, share, comment, ask?
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm at the Bob Dylan show right now, and the bass player just walked past me.
Awesome.
It's about to start, and I appreciate everything you guys said. Thank you so much for leading us through this. I really appreciated the following the calendar and the dates and setting a cohesive, holistic plan. Thank you so much.
Cool. Well, thanks for being on, and enjoy the show.
Yeah, like a rolling stone. Thank you so much, you guys. Enjoy.
Okay, ciao.
I'll stay on the call for a little bit.
Okay. So yeah, that's that, I guess. Let me see if there's anything else I could show you, since you mentioned that about the Google Maps. Basically, the best way to utilize it for what you're telling is when, like, at this point, I punched in San Francisco, some place downtown. I think it was like the Marriott or something. And then after that, I typed in live music bar and pushed search. And then the results came up. And so I think that's the way I found best to use it. And it's like, there's some I haven't heard of, actually. The Riptide. And
the Riptide just burned down.
Oh.
Sadly.
And the Royal Cuckoo.
Yeah, that one I have not heard of. I'm curious about that one.
It's in the Mission.
Yeah. I thought I knew all the places in the Mission. So it's interesting to see places that I don't even know about that are in my backyard. I don't know if that'll happen for you, Ricky. But
Oh, one more tip. So let me show you while we're on the subject, because another really good way to find venues, like even I find venues that I don't know about, just I do this. This guy is Anton. I'll show you. If you subscribe to other people's emails, and then when bands are performing, they send out their list of where they're playing, right? And, you know, so especially there's a few that are really good at doing that. And they, this is what I do. And I actually have my team do this too. We go through their list and look at the venues and then add them to our database. So, and it's always good, since I work with a large range of genres. We just have a minute here. I wanted to show you the best way is to do it by looking, if you're looking for your own band, which genres are your genre. Okay, this guy, Anton Schwartz. Oh, where is he? Anton Schwartz. So you've got a lot of good venues that, no, he's not coming up. Maybe I deleted it. He's got a lot of good venues. Well, George Brooks actually is another one. This guy here, sometimes we'll just go to their website and then get the venues that are on the website. But that's a really good way, is when you're on someone's mailing list who has a similar type of a genre as you, look to see where they're playing, and then that's another way that we add in venues to the into the database that could be a good fit. And then there's also a lot of resources for festivals, but we'll talk about that when we do the festivals call, and then that time we'll also talk about Sonic Bids and some of the other band booking sites. This is more like the DIY venues for, you know, bars and clubs and those kind of gigs.
So you keep a database on Salesforce.com. Is that what you were saying when I
Yes, that's right.
came on? Mm-hmm. Cool. Ricky, were you already keeping a database of people?
Yeah, I'm trying, but
you're trying, yeah. Right.
Like what I've said here, it's very
Facebook seems like a database of sorts.
But the funny thing with guys in Nairobi or in Kenya with Facebook, if you invite people for a gig, you're only going to have 10% of the guys who say they're going to attend. Those are the demographics that you have. And maybe just to ask, do you have maybe a few more minutes on Skype, Cherry, after this?
I have to teach yoga in 10 minutes. Here, his site came up. I don't know if you can see it, but you know what I'm talking about, where you go to the calendar and see he's got all these places on here, right? It's a good way to find places that you may not even know booked music, because people play at different types of venues and events. So it's always interesting to help expand your possibilities about where you might play. So that was it. But,
right. Oh, I keep trying to scroll on your screen.
I'm sorry.
Wow. Time. Okay.
Like, probably should let it stay still. Okay, folks. Well, that's our time is up, and I appreciate being here. I did record it, and I'll send it to you. I recorded last week's too, but there wasn't really any info, so I didn't send it. But I will send this one for you.
Right.
Thanks very much for the.
Okay, and.